Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me here today. We're going to get into Bad Batch episode 5, another treat this week. Before we get into it, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want to. But definitely comment. I want to hear what everyone thinks on this show, everything going on. As we're starting to get more into these episodes, a lot more is coming clear into the light of the story. So I'd love to know what everyone's thinking and everyone else's predictions as well going forward. So definitely go ahead and comment at the end of this video. But without further ado, so we start this episode off. The crew's on the run from, their mysterious assailant. Not so mysterious to us, but definitely unknown to them. But we see that they're not exactly running away. They're more so trying to go and find information because they want to know everything they can on this person who's highly capable, highly skilled in chasing after them. So the biggest thing to come out of this episode, of course, was the crew's hunt for information on Fennec Shand. So they go and they try to find an Old Republic contact, somebody who was trusted amongst the Jedi, sort of an inside liaison when it came to the underground world. This person went by the name Sid. And of course we get this information from Echo, someone who spent a lot of time amongst the Jedi, of course, in the army. So this is information that I'm not surprised he has. So we also learned that this person, Sid, going forward, also has ties to the Bounty Hunters Guild. Of course, anyone who's watched Mando, especially season 1, we know the Bounty Hunters Guild is pretty involved with the underworld. They take contracts and anything from anyone who's willing to pay the right price. So this is definitely someone who's going to have a wealth of information and knowledge, and they came to the right place, it seems like. But unfortunately, she doesn't make it easy for them necessarily when it comes to trying to find Sid. She immediately tries to divert them away from the bar that she's supposed to be in, and luckily Omega was able to find it out. I'm a little amazed that the crew wasn't able to pick up that person was Sid and Omega was. I'm not sure if that's part of this weird Omega ability that people are speculating on, or if the crew's really just that dense. I would hope not, but it kind of seems like it. Anyways, when they find her, of course, in this world, information is not free, especially when it comes to somebody who deals in the underground. Information is power. So, of course, they can't just get it for free. They have to do something in return for her. And in this, they end up taking a contract from her and sort of a rescue mission, she claims it. So after they complete this contract, they go ahead and they learn Fennec's identity, of course. We all know that she's Fennec Shand, but what we didn't know is that at this point in time in the show, Fennec Shand is actually a very young bounty hunter. She's new to the game, and she's already making a name for herself with her skill in the underworld. We also learned that her employer is unknown even to Sid. So this is a hint that, to me at least, that this could be a high value customer, someone who can afford to stay hidden, because we know, at least in Mando early on, the Empire kind of hid their presence when it came to the contract that they were given to Din Djarin. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is something similar. I think that this is still maybe a contract by the Kaminoans. They definitely want Omega back, I think, for the purpose of cloning her. So I think this bounty that Fennec Shand has is by the Kaminoans. It could be by the Empire. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm sticking with that theory. So speaking of Sid is a very interesting character to me. Somebody I think who may be around through the rest of this season, if it goes beyond the first season, maybe even to the second, but that's yet to be seen. So Sid, I think she has a really important role going forward for different reasons. One, of course, early on we learned she has a relationship with the Jedi and the Republic. So of course automatically she's beneficial to the crew because she has ties with the Republic and Jedi, so she's willing to be friendly with clones, of course. Also because the crew needs someone like her. They need someone who has the info in this type of area. They need someone who has resources and information on the Empire, what they're doing now, and of course, like I said before, information on the underground world that they're now finding themselves in, unfortunately. So she also has impressive ties that make her very dangerous as well. I'm talking about her ties with the Hutt clan that we saw in this episode. We know the Hutts are not to be messed with. They're gangsters in the galaxy. They're definitely dangerous. So her being involved with them can definitely win danger, but also shows that she's backed by some very powerful people. So because of this and the way that her business has kind of gone, it sounds like. We know that she lost some business because she doesn't have her contacts with the Jedi and the Republic anymore. So her business of selling information has really gone down the drain. So maybe she's looking for new clients. Maybe she's willing to work with the Empire, but we're going to get into that with the predictions at the end of this video. So to finish up on Sid, I definitely think she's a liability going forward for this, because we see also at the end of this episode, she sort of has this dialogue with Hunter that shows me that she might not be able to be trusted. She mentions that that whatever the bounty is on them has to be worth a decent amount. So that to me was alarming. We see Hunter's face and he automatically doesn't trust her from that point, and I wouldn't either, especially in her line of work. She can definitely go ahead and rat them out to maybe the Empire, maybe even sell this information off to the Hutts, and they can make a profit off of it. So speaking of Bib Fortuna, we can't skip past this cameo. That was actually really nice to see, sort of bringing Bib Fortuna. That was definitely something I liked that came from this episode, because he's a very prominent member of the Hutt clan. Of course, we really only see him in the original trilogy. We saw him a little bit there at the end of Mando season 2. That's the last we ever see of him, of course. But it was kind of nice to nod to him. Is this just a cameo? Or is this maybe something showing that the Bad Batch could work with the Hutts in the future? We know that they just did a contract for them trying to secure Muchi, the Rancor Mole, who I'm pretty sure is the same Rancor Mole that we see in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Because of they were able to get Muchi back safely, I wouldn't be surprised if they were willing to hire them again for another job in the future. So is this just a cameo, or is this something leading to something else? Who knows? But I would actually like to see the gang try to get some contracts from the Hutts. Maybe this can help them getting their information from Fennec Shand. Maybe. So another thing that I really liked from this episode was watching Muchi take down this whole camp of slavers. That was actually pretty funny, watching her run amok, take out all the guards, take out that winged dragon looking thing. That looked like a fight that Muchi was about to lose, but quickly turned that around and sent that thing running. So the last thing I really liked coming out of this episode was sort of seeing a little bit more of how the galaxy is at this point in time, with the fall of the Republic and the transition into the new Empire. We sort of see that the slavers are now running amok with the lack of Republic forces patrolling and keeping them at bay. They're picking up people and Rancor Moles apparently, and this is definitely a sign to me that it's a lot more lawless under the Empire. Maybe the Empire hasn't gotten around to dealing with these issues. We know they're trying to expand and solidify their rule on planets around the galaxy. But I also wonder if this is something that the Empire is just letting happen as a result of the whole transition. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with these, it seems like Outer Rim planets that they're going to right now. They don't have too much dominion or control out there. So who knows what the actual situation. So last, let's get into some of these predictions that I think are going to happen in the future of this series. So one, like I said before, is this a cameo, Bib Fortuna, or is this also showing that perhaps the Hutts can play a role in this show as well, possibly providing information for the Bad Batch, possibly providing working contracts so they can get that information. Who knows? But I would actually, like I said, I really like to see them try and find a way for themselves in this underground world through the Hutts. So another prediction I have is Sig will become a danger to the crew and honestly the existence of Omega. I think she will rat the crew out to maybe not the Hutt clan, but definitely to the Empire. We see that there is a bounty on them that's worth checking out, because she mentions at the end of the episode. And I definitely think that going forward, she's definitely someone to watch when it comes to information being leaked on them. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up coming in contact with Empire spies, soldiers, and she just gives them up immediately. In that world, there's no loyalty, it's just money. So my last prediction is Wrecker. I'm still worried about Wrecker. A lot of people are definitely thinking that this headache that he keeps having, that they keep showing, is his inhibitor chip activating, trying to gain control of him and have him comply with Order 66. I definitely think that this is going to play a role later on in this season. I hope it doesn't end fatally for Wrecker, but he's too dangerous to have fall to the other side. So I think that this tragedy that everyone's expecting might as well just be the passing of Wrecker after he turns to the other side. It's only a matter of time at this point. But we're definitely getting ready for a tragedy for another crew member falling. That's going to be it from here today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video on this episode of Bad Batch, episode 5. Don't forget to go comment, like, subscribe, or dislike if you really feel like it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Whether is Sig going to be a snitch? Is Wrecker going to turn? And also let me know what you guys think about Omega and her future in this series. See you next week.